fading. We gotta go. I'll get my car. I brought mine. Yours. I gotta get me one of those.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Bat Dan's Interviews. So, it is May 30th, my birthday. I had fun, I went to the Shed Aquarium, had a good time. But I also wanted to do a very special stream for my YouTube channel. As you may know, I'm a fan of this new comic book series called Dreamwalker. Issue 1, variant of issue 2, another variant of issue 2, another variant of issue 2. And I wanted to bring on the creator himself to talk about this amazing comic book series. So please welcome Mikey Sutton.
Ben Affleck might not be done as Batman. Happy birthday, Batman. Great being here tonight. Surprise.
Really good to hear. Really good to hear. And just say a quick hi to the chat real quick. We got Socks. We got Sin Havoc. Thank you, man. We got Nightmare Allegory. And we got Taladia. So, yes. Thank you for the birthday bomb, Mikey. As people who follow my channel know, I'm a huge Ben Affleck fan. Batman. Ben Affleck is my Batman. So
the timing of your birthday is just perfect because I was told this a few days ago and I was like, where do I drop this? And when you told me it was your birthday, and I was like, you know what? I think I know where I'm going to drop this. And sure enough, just fits perfectly. Best birthday gift I can give, to you.
Yeah, definitely best birthday gift because I'm excited for the Flash movie. I am. If you follow my channel, you know I am. But, one thing that did depress me was the thought that this was the last time of seeing Batfleck again, and that's just.
It's unfortunate, yeah, but might not be the case.
Good. Really good. And again, I don't need to see Ben Affleck come back forever. All I'm asking for is a proper conclusion. I emphasize the word conclusion to the story that I love. I'm talking to you, James Gunn. We just want a conclusion to our story. Not for it to take over, not for it to outdo your stuff. Just the story completed on our end.
I know. I'm so looking forward to the Weasel trilogy.
Oh God, I am not looking forward to that at all. His brother, casting his brother.
Yeah. I ran into his brother a few years ago, actually, at a restaurant in Seattle. I think that was in 2017, I think it was. Just like said hello. Just, no big deal. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, it's James Gunn's brother.
At the time, you didn't really care, but
no,
now
I still don't care. But he's Weasel. Wherever he is now, he's like multiple roles. Right?
And some other guy, he's playing some other guy in Creature Commandos. I don't remember, but I know he has 2 roles in that series.
Might like just clone his brother, then have him play everybody. Hey, there's your new Superman right there, his brother. There you go.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe he'll have Amelia Harcourt also be Wonder Woman.
Yeah, you just never know. They haven't said anything about Gal yet, so be afraid. Be very afraid.
To me, the Snyderverse cast is a package deal. So if one of them's out, honestly, I want all of them out. And continue, except for certain circumstances where like Ezra Miller can travel between the multiverse, something like that is okay.
Yeah.
But other than that, if Henry's out, as far as I'm concerned, Gal should be out too, and they can all be on Netflix.
There you go. Well, I'm not sure if you caught the news this morning, but
Tyrone Magnus.
That as well. But I keep forgetting how to pronounce his name. I just call him Andy Machine Gun from now on. The Flash director has said that Ezra Miller is going to stay as a Flash. Scoop confirmed. You watched Skywalker and me last week. That's what I said. If it's a success, Ezra's going to stay as a Flash.
They better sign a contract, though, that Ezra Miller's not allowed to go to Hawaii. Very dark humor.
Good point, though. Good point. Actually, I would demand that as well. If I was Warner, you cannot go to Hawaii.
And just so people know, I'm a big Ezra Miller supporter. Just a dark joke is all. I actually... The week that Ezra Miller gave their public apology, I actually did a whole video about my thoughts on that whole Ezra Miller situation, being one of the very few pro Ezra Miller people at the time. But just broke everything down. I just said, this is what's going on. This is what these people are saying. This is the situation, not just, facts and why I feel that way based on facts.
Mm-hmm.
Because people forget that the Snyderverse community, we're big on mental health. This is a big proponent of mental health. So if someone is actually taking responsibility and seeking mental health to get better, the last thing the Snyder fandom should do is turn on the actor.
I totally agree with you. And look, Ezra went through the therapy that was required of him. He's been following their orders and everything. I think he shouldn't be punished for trying to better himself. Right? And what kind of lesson are you teaching by saying that despite all his efforts of making an apology, of bettering himself, we're going to fire him anyway? I mean, that makes no sense.
Exactly.
Or firing them, I should say. Yeah.
As long as you make an effort, I don't worry too much. As long as you make it. But one thing I will, people say is that, like, oh my God, how can Ezra be a good role model? This is not a good role model for children. My counter to that is, how many children struggle with mental health? A lot. To see
Yeah.
a superhero theirs knowing that it's okay, you don't think that could be an inspiration?
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. That's a great point. I think that should be brought up more often. Um, than what I usually see. Dan, I usually see a lot of Ezra bashing. I'm like, look, they went through some stuff. They went through therapy and everything. They apologized. Give them, like give them a chance, right? I
It,
mean,
part of the problem, though, is some of these other BS headlines that have come out. I think that's
yeah,
also part of the problem with some people,
yeah,
but
yeah,
we got to learn from Johnny Depp people. Like, just because a headline comes out doesn't mean that it's true.
yeah, yeah. Well, you know what it is, Dan. I think there's this prejudice against Ezra already, even prior to this. I'm just trying to find a reason to bash them, is what it is.
Well, part of it's the Grant Gustin fans.
That too. God.
Even before anything went down with Ezra Miller,
Yeah.
right when the casting happened, all these Grant Gustin fans are like, we want Grant, only Grant. And I'm just going to say it. Grant Gustin's not that good. He's great for CW, make no mistake. But
Yeah.
he's not this top tier actor.
And I haven't seen The Flash yet, but everybody I've spoken to, prior to those in Still Nation and the Syndicate, but the insiders I've spoken to about the film, they were raving about Ezra Miller months ago. And so apparently Ezra gives an extraordinary performance in this movie. He's in about every scene in the film. They're in every scene in the film. Like, that's incredible, right? And so,
Yeah, which is why recasting wasn't an option at that point.
yeah, yeah. And
But
so
I'm
I
saying,
think, I think it's time to let go of all the stuff about Ezra Miller. He's already suffered enough, and he's already went through all the things they needed to do to get better.
exactly. And Ezra's done everything. They've taken accountability.
Yeah.
And just saying, for people who want to jump on the headlines, another point I make, today it's Ezra Miller, tomorrow it's you or me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just never know when you or me could get a headline. So that's why I don't want to normalize canceling someone over headlines now. Like, whatever happens with Jonathan Majors, I'm not going to personally push for him to be fired.
Yeah. And do we really know the whole story about that anyway? We don't. It's really a he said, she said at this point.
Exactly. I mean, I want whatever happens with that situation to be the right call. And luckily there's a way with the different variants. What they could easily do is recast Jonathan Majors, but keep the door open for him to return as another variant.
Yeah, easily.
So no matter what, they should recast Jonathan Majors and just keep the door open for him to return so that he doesn't lose his role. But if it, let's say, turns out he is guilty, they have an easy way where they don't need to use him anymore. There's ways if you're creative. And people, stop making the variant jokes. They're not funny because either you're joking about an innocent man getting defamed or you're joking about an actual abuser abusing women. Neither way, it's funny. Like, I hate seeing the variant jokes. It's not even original.
Yeah, there's just so much garbage on. It's mainly Twitter as well. All these horrible narratives going on, these sick jokes, and mental health is no laughing matter, people. Especially if you have a parent who's going through issues or a loved one. Because people go through some really serious things and it affects everybody around them. Not no laughing matter.
It's not at all. And it's just important that public opinion, we got to be careful because, again, as I said, one day it's going to be you, one day it's going to be me, one day it's going to be anyone in this chat. Let's not normalize it now.
Yeah. Great point.
But anyway, so you also, in addition to being a scooper, you're also a writer for Dreamwalker. So
Yeah.
for anyone who doesn't know, we'll get into like more of the specific
Sure.
details later on.
Sure.
But just like what's a general overview? What is Dreamwalker about to anyone who's watching who has never heard of Dreamwalker
Yeah.
before?
Well, Dreamwalker, the character, is a Filipina named Kat, who, after a bus accident, discovers that she has the power to walk through people's dreams, and she can take objects from those dreams, and she's able to take them in real life. But once the person who's dreaming wakes up, that object disappears. Um, so she uses those objects, mainly weapons, to fight a lot of monsters from Filipino folklore that I learned about when I was a kid. I decided to put them in the story where this young lady has suddenly developed powers where she can fight them with these, obscure weapons, and it could be anything from a chainsaw to a flamethrower, like whatever she sees in people's dreams that she can use at that minute. And a lot of it, Dan, was inspired by Green Lantern. Green Lantern is the Hal Jordan Green Lantern is my all-time favorite DC male superhero. My all-time favorite hero DC of all time is the Huntress of all things. The Huntress is my all-time favorite DC hero. Period. Um, but Green Lantern, his power is mainly in his imagination that he can whatever he imagines the ring can recreate for him. So I thought a Dreamwalker can do kind of the same thing. But instead of having a ring create these objects, she goes through people's dreams and see what she can find and how to creatively use them. Um, and as the story progresses, you read issue 1 and 2. Um, issue 1, she's learning how to use her powers and everything. She tries to save this kid from being abducted by this vampire bird, and she's unable to, and that kid's dead. Okay, spoiler alert: that kid's gonna be dead. Um, but now that comes from Spider-Man. That with great power comes great responsibility, type of thing. But she's learning on the job, and I wanted her to fail when she first had the powers, and she totally fails. Right, that kid's gonna get eaten by that bird. Um, but by the second issue, she's so upset by her inability to save that kid that she really takes action in issue 2, and she becomes more of a supernatural vigilante type, where she goes, "Well, I can't just sit back here and allow this man who abuses daughters to get away with this." Um, but instead of her killing him, she gives him to the dead daughters who have come back from the grave as very disturbing.
That was so satisfying to read. Like, I don't normally like to condone death, but
he deserves it.
There are some anyone who abuses their children. I'm like, nope, I don't care what happens to you. Anything bad you deserve.
Yep, exactly. My favorite line in that story was when Dreamwalker goes to that guy's house. And the thing is this: the girls could have killed him themselves, but the father was always with the youngest daughter, and the sister did not want her to see them killing him and becoming this killer, and seeing that. So it was Dreamwalker who kidnapped him, and basically threw him to the wolves as they brought him down to hell. And so that's where that come from. But she had to do something. And a little bit of Rorschach there from Watchmen, obviously. That whole eye for an eye type of ideal. But when I was writing that, Dan, I was like, this is where Dreamwalker becomes a specter, like a spirit of vengeance, and this won't be the first time. This won't be the only time she's doing this. If justice needs to be done, she'll do it. Um, and I know people I talked to were really surprised by what she, but they loved it. They're like, "Yeah, he deserves it," you know. Um, but it was really an evolution of her character. She'll continue to evolve as time goes by. Yeah, like the Batfleck scene. That's exactly it too. There's that part of us, Dan, obviously, that we want to see these bad guys really get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I think for those of us, especially me, I was bullied as a child. To get
Same
back
here.
at there you go, to get back at that person. And it just was really a perfect word, satisfying. What you said there is, it felt satisfying to write. Um, my favorite part was when she put the knife to the guy's neck and she goes, "What is this?" She goes, "Deliverance." I just that line just kicked into my head when I was like, "Oh shit, I love that line." So the way Noelle Leon Flores drew that scene too, the look on her face, like, yeah, it's just perfection the way he did that. Like he and I are on the same wavelength, you know. Even though we're a million miles away, Dan. I mean, I give him the script and he puts his own vision on it, and it just works out perfectly for both of us, I think.
Well, it's funny. Like, it's going to circle back into what you just said, but like people hate social media. There's so many good reasons to hate social media. I agree, but one good thing is the fact that we can like have these connections with people, and like the distance doesn't even make a difference.
Nope, not at all.
Like I forget sometimes that I haven't met you or Syl or Skywalker or Zod in person. I did meet Trey and Corey in person, but other than those two, I forget that I haven't met other people in person just because of how much we do this stuff together.
Yeah. Well, you know, I met Syl last summer, and I haven't met anybody else. I mean, I met Iron Will. He's not a YouTuber though, but Iron Will is part of Syl Nation. I met him in person, and Alice Alicia Nava as well, who is Alice in the comic book. I met her, but a lot of you guys I've never met in person before. So, but it feels like I've known you already because we talk so much on YouTube or in chat or anything. Like it feels like I really know you guys. And the funny part about Dreamwalker, Dan, thinking of social media, is Dreamwalker completely unfolded from beginning to end on Facebook. The entire evolution of the comic book to getting Kate involved to the TV show, it all unfolded on Facebook in real time, in public as well. It's all there in public. If you were following me at the time, you would have seen piece by piece, like, wait, why is Kate like posting on Dreamwalker now? You know what I mean? It's really interesting how this happened. And the question in the chat, I want to answer really quickly. Dreamwalker TV series is 8 episodes for season 1. They will begin filming in December, and we are not affected by the writer's strike. So just let you guys know that it doesn't affect us.
Because you're a British TV show, you said, right?
Yeah, it's a British show, yeah.
Great. So that's, you know, I'm glad to at least hear that.
Yeah.
But you kind of segued a little bit to kind of the next topic. So I want to talk about like just you, Mikey Sutton, like how you rose to fame. So you became famous essentially Spider-Gate.
That's the one. Yeah, sure.
Like, how was your experience with that? So for those of you who don't know, this was the whole issue back in 2019 where Sony and Disney clashed over Spider-Man. Just like, because you're, you know, for people who don't know, Mikey's a scooper, and you know, one I followed for 2 years and has earned my trust.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Because I want to make it clear to people. I don't just like when I first heard Mikey Sutton, I didn't just automatically trust him. I wouldn't automatically trust anyone. I follow their. I don't believe or disbelieve. I follow their stuff, pay attention, and when I see stuff comes true, I'm like, oh wow. This should be taken very seriously. And one big thing was Spider-Gate. I mean, well, I guess I wasn't following you at the time, but other people were. And just, how was that? Like, reporting that?
Well, if those of you who have issue 1, you'll notice I thank Tom Holland in the back. You're probably thinking, why is he thanking Tom Holland in the back of the book. Um, and I met Tom Holland back in 2018 before my stroke. We had a picture together. It was funny. He called me Mr. Sutton, which made me laugh. Like Mr. Stark now. Um, gave me a big hug, not realizing what would happen to both of us a year from then, right? Um, and so August 2019, Dan, got this got this got this text message in the middle of the night, late night. Goes, hey, something's going wrong with Sony and Disney about Spider-Man. You give me a call. Okay, so I called this person up. He goes, look, I think it was Deadline. I was going to run this article tomorrow morning, that Sony has broken the deal with Disney, and Tom Holland's no longer going to be in the MCU. Done. Over with. And I'm like, he goes, hey, do you want to run this? And I was an anonymous scooper back then. I would go on Pete's Basement as the Shadow. That was really me. By the way, guys, if you guys don't know, that was the Shadow. And I was the Black Knight on Lords of the Long Box. I didn't want to go public with scooping, dude. It was just like, it's a fun thing. I had a job, didn't want to get into the whole drama, finding scoopers and shit like that, right? Once in a while, Dan, I did go public with certain scoops. I said Black Panther was in the Civil War. I was the one who scooped the original Sony Spider-Man deal. That was mine. Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was mine. I said Spider-Man before the leak, the email leak. I said that Sony has done a deal with Disney about including Spider-Man in the MCU. That was my scoop. In Facebook, I had a website or anything. I had a Facebook, and some people picked it up. Pete's Basement was where I was the Shadow. I became the Shadow on there. But I scooped that for them. I also scooped the Marvel working with Fox deal, that Marvel would get the would deal with Fox about using the X-Men and FF. And then I updated that later on, and I said, no, Disney said just fuck it, we're gonna buy Fox. And sure enough, that happened too. Okay, but not much traction with these dancers. I was all on Facebook, right? So there's a cult of people following me, like, hey, this Mikey guy knows his stuff, and nothing compared to Spidergate. So Spidergate happened. I got that call. I said, you know what? I'm not gonna run this. It's terrible news, first of all, and I have to confirm it with some people. I'm not a scooper, dude. I said, I'm not a scooper. I'm not. It's bad news, like, ew. You know what I mean? And I said, look, I trust you. I trust that you heard this. I just don't believe it. And so it's about 3 o'clock in the morning. Then I'm texting people, emailing, hey, this is true. And some people were annoyed. Dude, go to bed. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. What the hell you're doing, man? Got this one person who said that it's not true. It's not true. And just call me tomorrow at noon or so, and I'll let you know what's really going on. Okay, sounds cool. Then I had no intention of making this public whatsoever.
Really good.
So I had no intention of making it public whatsoever. But I looked at the date, okay? And here's where it gets really weird, because it all ties in with Spidergate. It's weird. The date that Deadline was going to drop this was Kate's birthday. Kate
damn.
Kate Valdez, who was Dreamwalker, who I modeled Dreamwalker after, now she's playing Dreamwalker, Filipino actress. It's going to fall on her birthday. So when she wakes up in the Philippines that day, the first news she's going to see is Tom Holland has left the MCU. Like, oh, that's horrible. That's horrible. She's a huge Tom Holland fan. She's a huge Spider-Man fan. And I'm like, okay, when I talk to this guy, I'm going to see what he says, and I'm going to report what he says. And I said, I can't do it anonymously, Dan. I have to make it public so she'll read it. Right? Now, at the time, I was just getting to know her at the time. So I didn't feel like I should, send her a message that, hey, I'll just make it public. And I know she reads my Facebook. So that's all it was. That's all it was. It was for her. I did not intend to become famous or anything with this dude. I didn't intend to gain a following with dropping this news, but my insider told me, goes, look, um, Sony is trying to leverage a better deal with Disney. They're gonna go public with this and make it look like Marvel's doing bad. Like Disney's like, it's their fault.
That was stupid.
Stupidest PR move. Um, and they
I
said,
sided with Disney.
yeah. And so, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened. And so my insider said, dude, put this out. Go ahead. Like, it's Kate's birthday. I had to put it out. So then I put it out. All I was hoping for was Kate reading this, like hitting the like emoji button or something, or you're telling me, yeah, thank you for that. I mean, just something, right? All I was thinking about was her. So I put it out on her birthday. Like, that's your birthday today. You're giving that Batman news today. Um, so it was a birthday, and I put it out a little afternoon. I said, no, it's all clickbait, guys. Yeah, they are arguing. They haven't renewed the deal. But I said, in the end, Sony will sign. Okay, so don't let this worry you. Stuff like that. And I did not realize then I was the only person saying this. There was no one else saying it. Like all the big sites, like one site said, "Cry fanboy, cry. He's never coming back." Like really, like trying to get guys emotional about this, right?
How does that sound familiar?
Yeah, it sounds familiar, right? Does it sound familiar? It happened again, and so I posted this with no expectations whatsoever, right? So I posted it, went public, right? Um, and then I turned off my computer, and I said, okay, it's not morning in Manila yet, so she hasn't read this yet. I'll check it. Let me check it in an hour so I can see what's going on. Then I checked it within an hour, and it was already like I had like 100 shares. I'm like, what the
Damn.
hell is going on here? What the huh? What? Like, I don't have that many friends. How is this possible, right? My page was public though, and so um, I was like, okay, this is starting to get crazy now, right? Um, Within 3 or 4 hours, so she liked the post. Okay, she read it her birthday. Good news for her birthday, right? Um, but by that time, Dan, the post had gotten like 600 likes, 700 likes. It was just climbing and climbing and climbing. Like, holy shit, this is going viral. Um, what happened was somebody saw my scoop, and started tracing back at my other scoops, like, hey, wait a minute, this is the guy that scooped the Spider-Man deal to begin with. He knows his stuff. Oh my god, he scooped Black Panther and Civil War and all this other stuff. The Fox deal.
A little bit.
Yeah. All of a sudden he saw a track record there, and I guess he posted somewhere about my track record. Um, and then it started to really pick up, dude. And um, within 24 hours, I made the front page of Yahoo News. Like,
Damn.
imagine going to Yahoo News, just doing a search, and seeing Tom Holland's picture, and then it says Sony's lying about deal. I'm like, wait a minute, this sounds very familiar. I clicked on it, and they gave me full credit. Like, oh my god, I'm on the front page of Yahoo News, and all of a sudden, that scoop had like 1,000 shares. It just blew up. It was going ballistic, right? Um, and you would think, okay, that's the end of that story, right? My 5 minutes of fame, they're done, right? Um, what I did not know, Dan, is that a studio had read my scoop. The studio had read my scoop, and I was getting all these friend requests, right? I didn't have enough friends. I just kept adding them, whoever these are. I didn't even look them up. Um, One of the people that added me as a friend was the president of the studio that bought Dreamwalker from me.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it all unfolded on Facebook. No, so I didn't find this out until later. Okay, but let me trace back a little bit here. The whole story of Dreamwalker gets really weird, Dan. And it's all organic, and you think of fate and destiny and all other stuff. Um, Let me take you back to 1991. So I'm watching 120 Minutes on MTV late at night. Um, this They announced a band called the Candy Skins, this alternative rock band from England called the Candy Skins, are about to come on. Like I said, okay, I never heard them before, right? What a cool name for a band! They must sound good with a cool name like that, right? So once their video came on, I hit record without hearing a song, dude. I still have this videotape, dude. I still have it. Historic now. And I'll tell you why it's historic. Um, so the song is called Submarine Song, and like, okay, what a cool song, right? There's a line in the song, Dan, where it goes, "And I walk through your dreams."
Oh,
And I'm like, what a badass lyric! What a cool lyric that is. And I'm watching the song over and over again. It's catchy. I'm hooked on it, right? That line is stuck in my head. And I walk through your dreams. Like, man, what a cool power for a superhero. So
yeah.
back in 1991, I'm like, I was still 22 then. That was in my head, right? Um, Fast forward. Okay, I didn't do anything with it. Didn't write a story on this or anything. Fast forward to 2018, right? Um, I scooped I scooped a show called Voltus 5 Legacy, right? And I made it public because I wanted my Filipino friends to know that the classic Japan anime Voltus 5 was going to become a live action show from the Philippines this time. Okay, so I posted that, and some guy sends me a PM. He goes, "Hey, congratulations on your Voltus 5 scoop. I can confirm that it's real." Oh, cool. You can confirm it. Scoop confirmed, right? I said, "Well, how do you know that?" "I know because I'm working on the show." Oh. And he goes, "Hey, I love your scoops and everything. And my name is Noel Leon Flores,
Your artist,
my artist. Was the
right?
designer of, yep, that's him. He found me because of Voltus 5. Okay. So he messages me and says, yeah. And he goes, "By the way, I really like your MCU scoops. Would you like to work together sometime? Maybe we can do a comic book together or something." And I said, "You know what? I'm actually looking for a comic book artist, you know." And I mean, okay, looking, it just gives me chills talking about this because you think of how bands meet, like how did the Beatles get together? How did you two get together, right? There's all this like because life is a game of inches, and if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have met Noel, right? If I hadn't stayed up with her in 20 minutes that night, I wouldn't have saw the candy schemes and got the idea for Dreamwalker. So Noel, you know, said, "Well, send me some, a story or whatever do you want to do?" And I said, "Okay, cool," And so it was in 2018 after Noel talking about comic book thing. I thought of Dreamwalker again. I thought of that girl who can walk through if I walk through people's dreams. And so originally, Dan, Dreamwalker was going to be it was going to be a comedy, like a Japanese manga. Can you imagine that as a comedy now?
Oh
Um,
no,
and but
no.
right, seriously, it's like, and so I had this idea. She's like a Dennis the Menace type of girl who kind of is mischievous and walks through people's dreams and just ruins them and stuff, or steals like jewelry from them. She's a thief, right? Um, I wrote like a couple of pages of this. It was just not funny. It was not landing, dude. Not landing at all. And there's one part in issue one that she kept from there where she was eating this Filipino snack called siopaw, and her brother says, "Don't eat that. There might be shit in there."
Oh yeah, that
And
was a great.
that was the only that was the only part from the original. And so anyway, it wasn't working, dude. It just wasn't. So Noel kept messaging me, goes, "Hey, got anything for me?" I said, "I'm sorry, man. I'm just still working on it." I didn't want to tell him, but it just wasn't working out. I just wanted to discourage him, right? But she's like, okay, oh no, I'll get it to you, you know. Um, and then in September 2018, I almost died. I had a
September
life,
2018, you said?
yeah,
Oh,
September 2018.
wow.
I had a life-threatening stroke. I was talking to my best friend at the time on the phone in the morning, and I hung up the phone. I got up and I collapsed, and there was nobody in the house, and I was paralyzed. Okay, like
Ah,
my I landed on my electric fan, and the phone fell under the fan, so I had no way to call 911. My right hand was still working. My left hand was completely paralyzed. Um, my legs were paralyzed, and so
yikes.
my mom was not home. She was at the hospital getting checked up, and so I laid there dying. My brain was bleeding for 3 hours. Keep in mind that I weighed almost 400 pounds at that time.
Ooh,
And I've lost
wow.
200. I weigh about 145 now, but I was almost 400 back then. And so I was praying, and that whole cliche of seeing your life fly before your eyes is true. I saw my life flying before my eyes. I with my right hand, I was thinking about throwing a shoe against my window. I'll smash the window to get some attention, right? Um, but thankfully, my mom came home 3 hours later, just in the nick of time. So I went to the hospital, went to 911 emergency and everything, and this lady came up, nurse, really, really weird. She came up to me and said, "Hey, you want me to call a priest?" I'm like, what? Why are you calling a priest? Oh, because you're gonna die tonight.
That's a very blunt way to put it.
Like, what? He goes, yeah, I'll call the priest now. Make sure all your family knows. And like, I'm thinking, I'm not gonna know where the hell I'm gonna die, right? And she goes, whatever you do, don't fall asleep because you'll never wake up. And I never saw her again, dude. Never saw her again. Um,
Good.
yeah. Behind me was the blood pressure monitor, and I kept looking at it to see if it was going down. And gradually, it was starting to go down gradually, and um, doctor said, "Okay, look, your blood pressure's down, um, but there are some major issues here, and but you'll live." Yeah, exactly. And I call her the nurse of death. And so gosh, it's scary. Um, there's some. Oh man, I got stories to tell, but that's a different matter entirely. I can do a whole story time on that one. But anyway, um, next morning, Dan, the doctor came up to me and he said, well, you're alive and there is a way to keep you alive, but unfortunately, you may never walk or write again.
Wow.
Because, yeah, integrity stroke is no joke. It's horrible. Um,
Oh yeah,
and,
they're bad. A personal experience from family of mine. I know that they're
oh
not.
God,
They're
oh my God. And so I was able to use my right hand, Dan, but my left hand was just, it was gone, man. I could not get up. No feeling in my legs or anything. Um, so I would text people with my right hand, with my thumb. I still do that, by the way. I got so used to it that I still text with one hand, with my finger, with my thumb. I mean, and so they said, okay, we're gonna put you to physical therapy, and hopefully you'll be able to walk again. Hopefully you can use your both hands again. I went through extensive physical therapy, dude, and I learned how to walk, and I learned how to write again. Right.
wow. That's
Um,
real perseverance.
yeah, it took about 2 months, but I was ahead of schedule because I was working so hard. Um, and in the back of my mind, I was thinking of Dreamwalker, like because Dan, I could only dream of walking. I couldn't walk.
Oh,
My dreams were of walking, so I was dream walking literally during that time. That's why it's so this. book is so personal to me. And so after I got out of the hospital around October, I know because right after Venom came out, because my nurses were inviting me to go see Venom. She goes, "We can put you in a wheelchair." I said, "No, no, it's okay. I'm not going to see Venom." Um, and so um, I was chatting with Noelle still, and I said, "Look, I mean, I'm sorry the comic book didn't come together, but I'm learning how to write again. We'll see where this goes, right?" So then I get home, finally discharged from the hospital after 2 months of being there and physical therapy and everything. Um, I learned. Okay, I accidentally learned how to walk. I say accidentally because I was using a walker, right? Um, I didn't realize. I went to the kitchen one night getting some water. I didn't realize I forgot my walker, and I walked there without it. Like, holy shit, I can really walk now. Like, at
Wow.
first I thought I was gonna fall. Oh my god, where's my walker? Um,
Just don't think about it.
you so think about it, yeah. And so the next night, I was walking back and forth in the living room, and another weird thing happened. So my mom was watching a soap opera called Onanai, and I don't watch Filipino soap operas. Dude, come on, I'm a superhero dude. You know what I mean? So, but she was watching a soap opera, and I kept walking back and forth, and I saw this girl in the soap opera. I'm like, Mom, who is that? This really beautiful girl, like different. She has a unique look to her, just gorgeous. And I actually sat down and watched the soap for this girl. And she didn't know who it was. She was like a new actress or something. Oh, okay. So I went to my computer after the show and I looked at the cast. Her name was Kate Valdez. I discovered Kate Valdez after I learned how to walk.
Wow, that if that's not a sign, I don't know what is, honestly. Like,
exactly. Exactly. And so I posted her picture on Facebook. I sent you the image if you want to show it. This is the first time I posted about Kate.
okay. For those of you who don't know, I have not shared my screen that much, so bear with me a little bit. Okay. Let me know what you see. Do you see Kate Valadez?
Not yet.
Worked the first time. Oh, wait, I have to actually click on something first. That might
Okay.
help.
Integrity,
Okay,
thank you.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, really great picture.
Mm.
And I was just laughing at Noel's comment.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he commented. It's all there. It's all there in the picture. Noelle and her and me posting her for the first time.
Yeah, really, really great picture. And just, she really, I mean, just in that picture alone, she really does look like, she really does look like a superhero.
Yeah, yeah. And it's, from a soap opera. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can you still see the image, or is that gone now?
No, I don't see any image at all.
Okay, good. But I get I have like the option to share still back, and I'm like just
All right. No worries.
trying to turn that off. Here, that should do it. Okay. Anyway. Okay, so anyway, lost my train of. Okay. So, but yeah, that's a really great picture, and that actually, I mean, that story kind of covered a lot of my questions right there. Just how you got Kate Valadez, how you got Noelle Flores, I mean, I really just love that story with the stroke, because one, it teaches so many great lessons.
Yeah.
It teaches lessons that, life is short. You never know what could happen. Like I mean, I lost my grandma due to a stroke at 79, perfectly
Oh, I'm
healthy.
so sorry to hear that. Man.
thing. It was 10 years ago, but it was a hard. It was hard because like none of us expected it. So I mean that's why I really kind of take that story that you mentioned very seriously because you never know. You just don't know what can happen. And the way that you persevered through it, like the fact that you set the expectations for yourself is that, I mean, I think there are so many people, Mikey, if they were told what you were told, I think they would have died. I think they would have been paralyzed forever because a lot of it, I think, is mental. If you're told
It's
something,
mental. Yeah.
it's going to happen. Whereas like when you got up and you just got water, like you weren't thinking about walking, you were thinking about getting the water. So the walking just instinctively happened. Like I mean, kind of another example, just like I used to water ski, and when I got up, like people ask me how I get up, I just say I don't know how I get up. I just do it. I don't want to think about how I get up because I won't be able to.
By the way, no picture yet. By the way.
Okay, good. Or was it up earlier though?
No.
Oh, it wasn't up at all. Oh.
No.
Okay. These tech issues are so. Let me try this again. Okay, now what do you see?
I see an infinite circle going over your logo. There it is. What's the date on November? Okay. What's the date on November 25th?
21st.
Yeah, this is the first time I posted Kate on Facebook. And of course, Noelle has a comment there. This is before Dreamwalker. I just posted her picture, and I was here. Let me give you the context of Noelle's post here. They worked together on a show called Encantadia. I didn't even know Noelle was a designer for a TV show before, so this is all new to me. Had no idea these two worked together before. So I posted her photo here, and Noelle sends me a private message. She goes, "Hey, do you want to interview her?" I'm like, really? I mean, you can do that? He goes, "Yeah, I know her, man. I know her agent and everything." Like, okay. So he gets me in touch with her handler. And I messaged her handler and said, "Hey, I want to interview Kate Valdez." And I had a website back then, Dan, might sound familiar to you, it's called Paper Cuts, which I eventually used for social.
Like Still Abdul's show.
Yep, exactly. And so I asked to interview her. Within a week, I was talking to Kate. Within a week of this photo here. And so, great interview with her. And at the time, I was trying to get her cast as Kate Bishop in Hawkeye.
Oh yeah.
Because I was told that they're looking for an Asian American actress or Asian actress for Kate Bishop, specifically Filipina. And Scoop confirmed Haley Seinfeld was cast as Kate Bishop. She's half Filipina. So but they already had Haley in mind the whole time, so Kate wouldn't have gotten the role no matter what. But still, it got me to the whole casting Kate as a superhero idea. So when I was talking to Kate, and after watching her on the show, Dan, it hit me. My character has a face, and it's a face of Kate Valdez, and she inspired the character. And so when I was talking to her, she said, "Have you seen The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina?" And I said, No, I haven't seen it yet. And so when I watched the show, Dan, I loved it. I loved The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and it was her recommendation. And I was like, why am I doing a comedy? The comedy's not working. I'll make it horror. That's when Dreamwalker became horror. And so when I made it horror, then I wrote that script within a week. Issue 1 was done. A script that I had a year and a half trying to work on was done in a week. And I sent it to Noelle. He liked it. That's how Dreamwalker was born. And then so, and here's the crazy part. More craziness here. So At the time, Noel was working on Voltage 5 Legacy, right? At the same time, he was drawing Dreamwalker. Um, and so when Noel was done with the first couple of pages of Dreamwalker, hey, can you send me some art that I can kind of hype it up on Facebook, right? Um, and so I posted the first picture of Dreamwalker with her face. Um, and people were freaking out, dude. People were freaking like, "Oh my god, this looks so cool, right?" Um, GMA Network, the network is in the Philippines, did an article on me about this. About how Kate Valdez is the muse for Mikey Sutton and everything, and kind book. I got a private message, okay, from a man who added me during Spidergate. And I had no idea he was the CEO of a film studio. I had no idea, dude. And because I've been following your scoops in Spider-Man, I'm like, okay. Um, can you tell me more about your comic book? Okay, so I told him the plot. He goes, "Hey, when it's done, could you send me like a copy? Let me know." Sure, sure. And so, it took a year for the comic book to get done, for Noel to draw the book and everything, and get it published. And so when it was out, he messaged me again. Goes, "Oh, your book is out. Can you send me a copy?" Okay, I'll send you digital files. Sure. Right, right. Okay, Dan. Gets weirder still. Okay. To help me develop Dreamwalker, I wanted to get in the mood for Filipino horror. It's a Filipino horror book. And so I was looking for a film that I saw in 85 called Shake, Rattle, and Roll. Could not find it. What I found instead, Dan, was a horror film, modern Filipino horror film called Eerie on Netflix, right? And this movie, the tone of Dreamwalker was heavily influenced by Eerie. I love that film. And so when I was writing Dreamwalker, I just had this tone in my head that was from that film. Like, man, this Mikhail Red guy is an awesome director, just brilliant director, right? So I'm writing Dreamwalker with Mikhail Red's, his cinematic vision in my head. And when I sent Noel the script, I said, Noel, because Noel does all the coloring, everything, all the artists, he does everything. And so I said, Noel, I want you to light this book up like Netflix. It's exactly like I said to him. Light it up like Netflix, okay? Give it that Netflix look, Noel. Give it that Netflix look. Okay. So when you see Dreamwalker #1, it really has that Netflix look. It looks like Daredevil. That kind of the lighting and everything, a lot of yellows and the reds and everything. So that was on my mind, right? So anyway, fast forward to the studio. They want to see my comic book, okay? No, I know there are creators out there that bust their butts trying to get their comic books read by a studio person. They came to me. It just meant to be, right? And so I sent him a digital files, Dan, and he sent me their message. My producer wants to talk to you. Oh, okay. Can we do a Zoom call? Sure. Okay. Fine. I'm cool. In the back of my mind, thinking, what is this for? Is this what I think it is? Because I keep hearing about, comic books getting bought, licensed for TV shows and movies. It's like, I didn't want to expect too much, dude. So I was just very calm about the whole thing. I just felt very grateful to Tom Holland because if Spider-Gate never happened, if I didn't post it, this guy would never have happened. So I talked to the producer, really, really cool lady from Manila, and she goes, "You're probably wondering why we're doing a Zoom conference." I said, "Yeah, we wanna license Dreamwalker for a live action project." Just, now I know how it felt like when I bombed you guys all of a sudden. Like tonight when I bombed you with that, like it was shock. I was in total shock, right? even though I was kind of hoping that would be, to hear it like that, you know. And I said, "Wow, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm definitely interested, you know." And so what we'll do is we'll send you a contract and have you look at it. Okay. Mhm. So fast forward
Wow.
48, 2 days later, right? In the middle of the night, damn, because of the time zone difference. I get this email with this contract. There's an attachment. I'm like, holy shit. Holy shit, it's here. It's here, right? So I literally walked around the house like pacing. Should I read it now? Read it tomorrow morning? And like, okay, I'll read it now. I'll read it now. And I couldn't wait any longer. I read the contract. I'm like, oh my god, what an incredible contract! This is wow, right? So I emailed it to an attorney in LA and said, hey, what do you think of this? So wake up in the morning, my attorney called me and goes, you don't sign this, you're an idiot. You have to sign this. Okay,
You
I'm
must do
signing
it.
it. I I messaged them. I said, "Yeah, look, I'm gonna sign this. Great. Our producer will call you again. Perfect. Perfect. Okay." So I sent to producer, and this time, the second Zoom call, the president was on the line as well. I'm like, oh, okay. Um, and so the producer said, well, oh, I said, by the way, what have you guys worked on in the past? I'm just wondering what have you worked on? I know they were working on some current project. I didn't know what their past projects. And the lady goes, oh, I produced a film called Eerie. I said, my jaw hit the floor, dude. My jaw hit the floor. I was like, no way. No way. And she goes, yeah, that was actually our movie.
Damn.
I'm like,
What are the odds of
huh?
that?
Dude, they had no idea I liked Eerie. I never posted about Eerie. It was a private thing. I just love that film. Like, oh my god. I said that movie was a big inspiration for Dreamwalker. Like, huge inspiration for Dreamwalker. At that time, Dan, I was writing issue 2 already. Issue 2 is a tribute to Eerie. And so,
Wow.
and she goes, yeah, I feel like, huh? Dude, I feel like I'm in another world, man. I'm like, this is nuts, right? This is crazy. And so he goes, yeah. I said, well, and then she goes, it's just you're all calm and casual about this. I'm totally freaking out. I'm totally freaking out at this point, right? I'm thinking Destiny and all other stuff, right? Um, like, how cool? Can it get any cooler than this, right? I mean, but it does. It does get cooler than this. And so, and she goes, okay, you haven't said a word about this. Let's get the elephant out of the room, and we got to discuss this now. But I'll say, what is it? You want Kate Valdez to be in this, don't you? I said, yeah, I do. I said, I want her to be the star of this. Um,
You mean this Kate Valadez?
That's Kate Valdez.
Well, I think this should be playing right now. This seemed like a good time.
Yeah, perfect time. Yeah.
Let me see if this plays again. My StreamYard's a little laggy.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, there she is.
And she filmed this before she knew anything about this whole TV series thing, isn't that?
No, she filmed this the day after she found out.
Oh, okay, that's.
But this was scheduled long before. Actually, this was scheduled before I even got. I
Okay.
even got the offer. So, but the photographer had no idea. No one else there knew. You can tell she's really into it.
Yeah, she really gets into character here.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Kate Valadez is Dreamwalker, and so you said that basically you really wanted Kate.
Yeah, and I said I really. And he goes, okay. And the producer promised me. He goes, you signed. We'll do everything we can to get Kate Valdez as lead role in this. I'm like, okay, I take your word for it, and I sign. Right? You would think, okay, but as good as it gets right now, it gets better. Right? And so they schedule a conference with GMA, which is her network in the Philippines, because you have to get permission from them. Yeah, yeah. Please subscribe and like, and guys. Get more subscriptions for that down here. So they we do a conference with them, and GMA gives this knockout presentation of why they want Kate for this role. Um, Interestingly enough, that same presentation had the characters that are going to be on the series, like Sil. They actually had a little placeholder for the actor for Silver in there. Um, and so, great presentation. Um, there's only one issue, Dan. I can't tell Kate.
Oh, why
GMA
is that?
will. It's their policy. GMA will not let me tell Kate that she's in the. They will tell her when everything is set in place. And so, needless to say, long story here. Um, we waited 8 months, okay, for this to all go through. Okay? And I had to keep this a secret from Kate. Like Sil knew, Noelle knew, but Kate did not know. Right?
I even knew before Kate.
Yeah, yeah. And so, what was really funny is that when Kate got the first issue of Dreamwalker, she was taking pictures with it, and she had no idea she landed the role for a TV show. No idea, you know. And so, I scheduled a photo shoot for Kate as Dreamwalker for the comic book issue 3, and I scheduled before I even got the offer for the TV show. I had no idea I was gonna get an offer for a TV show. I In my mind, Kate was Dreamwalker, and I wanted her on the cover of Dreamwalker, so I already scheduled that prior to that. So like I said, 8 months later, the studio contacts me and goes, "Look, you gotta tell Kate. I know you promised you know that you wouldn't. Oh no, you gotta tell her, man. We can't wait any longer. You gotta tell her." So I told Kate in the middle of the night, and I said, "Kate, I have some news for you." First, I said there's a Dreamwalker show, and she's so humble, like, "Oh, congratulations, there's a Dreamwalker show." I said, Kate, that's not the big news. Big news is you're the lead star." She's like, "What? Oh my god!" So we were like I had like an hour limit on Zoom calling. I had to shift from one call thing to the other because we were talking for so long that night. Um, and she was just ecstatic. I mean, when I told her, and guess what? The photo shoot was the next day.
Wow. Like when the
Hey,
news is fresh, it's like a lot more like
yeah,
like really into it. Like you can
yeah,
like just having freshly found out. That's what I
yeah.
why that's like a great time to take a picture.
And and keep in mind, Dan, that I was just waiting to tell Kate this whole time that I completely forgot about the other people that they need for the show, like a director, the writer, everything. She completely slipped my mind. Like who? I don't care. I just want Kate in the show. It doesn't really matter to me who's writing it, right? Sure, it'll be good, right? So I haven't told you the big bomb. He got the bomb on me prior to me telling Kate. He goes, "Hey, we found a director." I'm like, "Cool, you guys, we found a director." So, "Who's the director?" "It's Mikhail Red, director of Eerie." I'm like, "What? What the fuck?
Man,
What
another
the fuck?
coincidence.
What the fuck?" Yeah. So the man who influenced the comic is directing the show.
How like that is just so perfect. It's just like I love this story just of how much everything just like lines
Yeah,
up. Like
yeah,
the way you heard Dreamwalker, the way
yeah,
you got interested in Kate Valdez, the way that like the influence for Dreamwalker is
yeah, yeah.
just amazing.
It's amazing, right? And so I was literally walking on air when I found out that Mel Ray was directing this. Um, and so that was like meant to be, right? And so what I was told, Dan, was that when they offered it to Noel, it gets weirder. He'd already read it. He already picked up the first issue. I'm at a convention. I'm like, what the hell? So, um, and then after that, after Kate was, once they
Hey, James Gunn, stop interfering with Mikey's mic.
once they secured Kate, then came Variety Watch. I created the ARC chat.
Yep, I
Guys,
know. Me included
you
in
part
that.
of you were included. Yeah, we did a video reaction when you first found out about that. And so,
Yeah, I'll post the link. It's on Zod Writer's channel. When he got Marcus on for late night Q&A, I came in midstream
yeah,
and like you really got to see the reaction. If you haven't already, people, you really got to see the reaction when he told me details about my character. I'll keep it at that.
yeah, this is wild. And so February 2nd, I don't know, February 1st, it was one of the greatest days of my life. Variety drops the article. Um, and it's funny because you guys knew it was going to drop. Everybody was awake in the arc, man. Everybody was awake. Sil was awake. You guys are all waiting for that countdown going on. It dropped at like 3 or 4 in the morning over here. And then boom, and then was really weird. Mikhail Red and I kept tagging each other. It's like, this is so surreal, Like, and I messaged him and said, thank you so much. And he's really excited about the project. And so, yeah, Dreamwalker. After one issue, that's all it took because we did the deal before the second issue came out. Yeah.
That's just really amazing. Like so many people would just beg to have like their comic book turned into a TV show, and here you are after one issue. And I mean, after reading the issue, this isn't just because at some point I'll be in this comic book. It's just like reading it. It's a really good story. It's something original, something that we don't see. Not the same old stuff. And I don't want to say not superhero stuff because I love superhero stuff, but I like different stuff too. And this is just really such a great story, just in those 2 issues.
Well, what's interesting is the story behind the story itself. It's like it itself is a story. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
it's a very personal thing, and so December, the show will start filming. I can't tell you the streamer that's gonna be on. You'll find out soon enough.
I won't say anything. I sworn to secrecy.
Yeah. And so what happened is that the Studio 108 Media has the rights to any.
So 108 Media, that's the name of the studio that bought your comic book to turn.
Yeah, they own the movie rights, TV rights, live action rights to anything's in the comic book, anything that's spin off. All the characters in the comic book, they have the rights to it.
Thanks, integrity. I know I have issues with that.
And so, how the show is going to be is 8 episodes, season 1. Now, what I thought was brilliant is that the show is live action, but the dream sequences are animated. And
oh wow,
and I haven't really discussed that before. But yeah, it'll be anime. It'll have anime sequences in the middle of the show whenever they do the dream whenever she's in Dream World. Which I thought was a brilliant idea.
Yeah, really good way to differentiate the real.
Yeah.
Like when I say real, I mean like real within the show and what's just a dream. Because some people watching it, it's like I watch shows where like I can't tell like what's real and what's not real.
Yeah.
And it drives me insane.
So here you can easily.
Distinction.
And so the dreams will be in a different style each time, so they won't even look the same. And so I asked the studio, wow, you're gonna have to outsource the animation, right? It's gonna be expensive. Oh, we bought an anime studio. Oh, okay.
Getting some Zack Snyder's Justice League vibes there.
Exactly like Ben Affleck bought the bank, right? so, so they sent me a Variety article from before where they bought an anime studio.
So did they buy the
and they're
animated
like, oh,
studio just for Dreamwalker?
no, other things, but it's funny because they bought the studio without having a use for it yet. Now they have a use for it.
Wow, just another instance of fate coming in. Like that's just
Fate
like
coming
this
in,
whole story is just like
Yeah.
one instance of fate coming in after another.
And guess who's a big anime fan? Keyboard is a big anime fan. Now, not only is she Dreamwalker, she's also an anime as well. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention this, Dan, too, is that when I first spoke with 108 Media, they asked me, "You want a TV show or do you want a movie?" This is like a restaurant. Like you want fries with your Big Mac or something. I mean, like I couldn't
Wow.
believe. Like I was given a movie offer, and I turned it down. I said, no, I'm not. It's not ready for a film yet. And I figured for a TV show, we can tell more of the story. That's my interpretation of it. I know people think like, "Holy crap, you turned down a movie, dude!" Yeah, I did because I felt a TV show would serve the comic book more right now. And as it picks up, yeah, we can make a movie out of it. But there is a connective story here, and I'm glad because we're gonna have possibly multiple seasons of this show if it does really well. And so guys don't know Dan will be in a comic book. Bad Dan will be in the comic book. He will.
Yeah.
So are some of the chatters here. Socks will be in the comic book as well. Talada is going to be in the comic book. There are people that I know and trust that I have turned to comic book characters.
Yeah, so what made you decide to like turn like people like me, Socks, still into comic book characters?
Well, two reasons, dude. It's like number one, I needed a supporting cast, and frankly, people Zod was shocked when I told him this, but I have been profiling all of you. I was secretly watching your YouTube channels without telling you, and seeing if I can get inspiration from watching you guys. Socks plays a very important role in my career because back when in my early scooping days, I was doing scoop jams. I was uniting all these YouTube channels together. Like if you watch this YouTube channel, you have to watch the other one to get together as part of the scoop. And my philosophy was high tide raises all ships. There's too much drama with YouTubers, a lot of fighting going on, competitiveness. Like, look, if you're all gonna cover my scoops, why don't you guys unite? And I'll give you a different part of a scoop, or I'll give you a different scoop, and that way you can lift all your viewers up in total. And Socks goes, "Hey, it's a Mikey verse." Those Socks he coined that phrase, Mikey verse. I'm like, that sounds cool. And at the time, Socks was just thinking of YouTube, and so was I.
It works for this too. Which Socks, you're a clever one too, not just Mikey. You are as well.
You as well. And so, what's really interesting, Dan, was when Variety came out. They announced it's a multiverse. It's an entire universe that I'm creating for. I'm creating a universe. I didn't even know. Variety broke the story. They broke my own scoop, dude. Like what? Universe? I didn't even think of it that way. But yeah, there's a real life Mikey verse now with Dreamwalker, which will spin off into Silver and Gold and Skyward and all other comic books I'm putting out. And there will be a Dreamwalker video game as well that's being worked on. You didn't know about that, Dan? I don't think I told you.
You might have maybe, but there's a lot of stuff that you tell me that I don't know if I'm allowed to share.
Okay, there you go.
Information blends together sometimes. Sometimes I just don't say anything because it's like, wait, was this publicly told to me or was this privately told to me? I can't remember. I just won't say anything.
It's public now, so We are working on a Dreamwalker video game on the well on that, and just really cool too. By the way, I can't tell you anything more, but it's just damn awesome.
So we're going to be video game characters too, then potentially.
No, well potentially, but this first video game though takes place hundreds of years in the past, so it's our ancestors. What this game is going to be, um, but um, we are going to do. Well, I am going to write Dreamwalker novels. I have one with Sky. Skywar is going to be a novel that I'm planning on, and I'm already in talks with a publisher for that. Um, Another thing too is that I am planning a Dreamwalker podcast, like a radio drama. Like
Oh,
I'm
wow.
planning as well all out with Dreamwalker, and eventually Dreamwalker will be my whole life. So I mean, it's just getting to that point now. After the show comes out, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be my career pretty much. Just publishing Second Skin comic. By the way, I am Second Skin Comics. I'm the publisher of this as well. It's
Yeah.
like, hey,
I just got Palpatine vibes right there when you said that. I am the Senate. I am Second Skins.
Yeah, I'm Second Skin. So, yeah, and second, okay. There's a story. There's always a story behind a story, right? I'm so meta, dude. I'm totally meta. Of course, Dreamwalker was born on meta. So anyway, one night, Dan, I needed a name for my comic book company. I couldn't think of a name. All the names I came with were just nah. So I'm watching YouTube. I think I was watching you actually. Yeah, I was watching you on YouTube. After a YouTube video ends, yeah, I was watching you that night. I was eating. I was watching you. But you know how when YouTube ends, it goes into the recommendations or it goes to a different video that you may have seen before or something.
Yep.
So I was watching you, and I got up to get a sandwich. I got up, and then all of a sudden I come back, and YouTube's playing a music video from a song called Second Skin. Yeah, kid you not. And it's by this British band called the Chameleons. I love the Chameleons. And I know this song pretty well, but I haven't heard it in a while. And what happened was a lyric video of the song came up. And I'm looking at the lyrics and I'm like, wait a minute. He talks about how his life passed before his eyes. And he mentions dreams and everything. Because I dedicate this melody to you. And I'm like, oh my God, Second Skin. And he mentions dreams in the song, dude. He mentions dreams in the song. Like, oh my God, this song is about my life the past 4 years. And so, holy shit. I decided to call the comic book company Second Skin Comics. And Second Skin, your second skin is your soul. Because it's underneath the flesh. And so it's very deep. I know. So,
wow, I've never thought of it like that. But yeah, that's a good point.
So if you read the first issue I dedicated the comic book to Kate Valdez. If you see a little message to her, I said, I dedicate this melody to you. That's from that song Second Skin. It's all meta, dude. There's like I have so many hidden references in my stories. Like I can literally do a whole book on the references I have in there. I learned that from Grant Morrison, by the way. Grant Morrison's the most meta writer ever in comics. Like each page has a reference to something that you probably won't get, but he knows, So, but that's the whole Dreamwalker story for now, right there, until things get crazy when the show is on the air,
Yeah, well, this story actually covered like pretty much all my questions. Covered everything. It's a really great story. It's why I love it so much because it's just like all this stuff had to work out perfectly. Yeah, you're welcome. And it's just how life is. Like, for example, like how I got into YouTube and met all you guys was I lost my job due to COVID and I was on YouTube more and I met all you guys. Something that just wouldn't have happened unless things played out in my life exactly the way it did. and it really is demonstrated here in the creation of Dreamwalker.
Yeah.
Like, all this stuff had to happen exactly that way.
Yeah.
But I mean, almost dying is like that's damn.
Well, when with the characters, with the YouTubers as characters in the comic book, it really started with Syl. Syl Abdul, my co-host, and I wanted a vampire in this book, Dan, because there are Filipino vampires called the Aswangs. They're their own thing, right? And I wonder what would happen if an American vampire came to the country and tried to take over the vampires there, and kind of an invasive species. And I wanted to put a twist on the whole racism thing. Still being black, but they don't like him because he's an American vampire. It doesn't matter what skin color he is. But in a way, they are racist because he's a different species of vampire. And they want to control the blood, the supply of blood in their country. This foreigner coming and getting their blood. They're still, yeah, there he is. And so I thought to myself, you know what? I'm gonna model the character after Syl. What do I call him? And all of a sudden it hit me, Silver, like Silver Bullet, And I was like, Syl's a vampire perfectly. And then he's friends with Alicia Nava, and I'm like, I'll make her his bodyguard because he's a rapper trying to hide the fact that he's a vampire. So he has a bodyguard, which he doesn't really need a bodyguard, but he can't show people that there she is. He can't show people that he has powers. He's got a bodyguard. And so after Syl, I said I need a detective. I need a guy investigating this guy. Why is he going to the Philippines? Why is his rapper hiding there? And this guy suspects Syl of being a vampire. And I was like, who's a perfect detective among people I know? I was watching Zod with these people. Is my detective. And everything fell into place. I added Sky, I wanted an alien. Necron, I wanted another monster. Savage Bet, I wanted another monster. And so all of you, I was watching you guys on YouTube, looking at your personalities, and they just fit perfectly well with what I was doing.
So since you brought this up, I have to ask, what's my character gonna be like?
You are the intellectual of the group. And
wow.
You are the intellectual of the group. And you're the person they come to when it comes to strategies and things like that. And you will play a very important role in Silver and Gold, which takes place in the 80s. No, another weird part, another meta. There's 3 more meta things here by accident. Okay, that Kay Valdez picture on Facebook. I quoted a song by The Cult called "She Sells Sanctuary." The sparkle in her eyes, what keeps me alive, from '86. Silver and Gold takes place. Yeah.
Silver and Gold takes place in what year you said?
Yeah, 1986. Because when I heard that song "She Sells Sanctuary" by The Cult, and I quote the song in that first picture of her. And what's really funny, also, Dan, is that the acting office that she belongs to eventually changed their name to Sparkle years later. No, nothing to do with it. It's just a weird coincidence that if people see this now, they think, oh, Sparkle, because she works for Sparkle. No, Sparkle came later on. It's from a song called "She Sells Sanctuary," where it goes, "The sparkle in your eyes keeps me alive," because her eyes are showing in that video, that picture there.
Can you see the quotes? Is it?
Yeah. I can see them. Yeah. Little did I know that I would eventually put Silver and Gold in '86. It's just wild.
So you said that '86. Does that mean? I mean, like someone like me, for example, let's say.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna just assume that Dreamwalker must take place like a year or 2 after, because I'd be very, very old if
No,
was.
you're Dan. You're immortal. Spoiler alert. Yeah.
Wow. So, oh my God. If I had that ability in real life, I'd be eating all sorts of junk food. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and you'll find out why you're immortal. But the people in the syndicate are gonna be immortal. Not just Syl. When Syl's a vampire, of course, immortal. But so are the others. You guys are not aging.
Oh my God. I really wish I had that in real life sometimes.
But then you come up with some of the most innovative plans in Silver and Gold, which I won't tell you what they are, but there's some really cutting edge stuff that you do in there. And I can reveal this now. The good option is an android. Yeah, he's an android.
Does he know that yet?
Yes, he does know. Taladia is a hacker, and so really interesting characters that I just like watching you guys. I started profiling you, and I said, if I was gonna have like a real scientific, almost Lex Luthor type genius in this book, it's gonna be Batman.
Nice.
He got this big grin on his face, but he's got a little dark side to him. So, which you'll find when you start reading.
Sounds like real life. Sounds about me in real life.
Yeah, and so there you go. And so with the Good Austin, I was listening to a song by Gary Newman. God, what was that song called? I can't remember. No, it wasn't Cars. It was something else. You know what, Dan? Hold on a second. I'm just gonna look it up really quick. Right back. I want to make sure I get the song correctly.
Okay.
It gives you an idea of what I'm going for. Right back.
Yeah, and congratulations to Syl and Geekosity. I mean, Tyrone Magnus is a big YouTuber. That's probably one of the only, probably one of my favorite person who's interviewed Zack Snyder, someone who asks real, legitimate questions. Congratulations, Syl. And actually, when you're back, congratulations to you, Mikey Sutton, because this shouted out Geekosity as well. Just very great. And one more comment I want to pull up real quick. Here's the thing. I don't really want to get to the drama too much on my channel. But I will say this. If you're not interested in stuff like scoopers and other stuff, that's fine. That's honestly fine. Just don't watch it. Don't comment on it. If someone brings it up on your channel, just say, not interested, not on my channel, next. It's simple as that. But when your time becomes so focused on other people, it just makes you question if your content's that good if you have to focus on others. So just want to get that out of the way. Mikey, you were saying?
Yeah, I found it's called Our Friends Electric. That's a song that when I kept playing it over and over again, I'm like, the good option's an android. He's an android.
Our friends. Well, yeah. I mean, he's a friend, and
He's
that
electric.
makes. So you said Taladia is a hacker. Could Taladia essentially hack into the good Austin?
You'll see. Taladia does some crazy
Okay.
things too. But yeah. The thing is, you guys are all criminals, so there's always like they're kind of like Reservoir Dogs. Like, who can we trust here? Who's gonna turn on one another and things like that. So there is that part that creates tension, which I just love. And Silver and Gold's a blaster, right? You don't know who to trust in Silver and Gold. Who's gonna turn on one another, and it's fun. But yeah.
I can say if I was actually in that scenario, I probably would not be a guy to trust.
Yeah, I mean, Come on, criminals are gonna turn on their, one another, and sometimes if it saves their lives, they'll help one another. But you guys are all after something. Um, but it's great because watching you guys, I got ideas from watching you guys. You guys don't even know how my mind works. You mean something that's totally unrelated, but I get an idea from it. So, good stuff.
And well, that's what's great about that's what I love about this story too. Not just the fact that I'm thrilled to be in a comic book and like have an actor play me on a show, but just the fact that you're taking real life and incorporating it into your story. You're taking what your actual
Yeah,
experiences. To me, those are the best writers who take your actual experiences, make some tweaks obviously for the story, but
yeah,
actually turn it into a story. That's to
yeah.
me what's really interesting because life, I think, has some of the best creativity. It's just
It does.
real
It
life.
does. Well, um, a lot of real life, a lot of comic book characters are based on real life people that we don't even know about. Like Clark Kent was based on a real person. That
Oh, really?
yeah, Joe Schuster or Jerry Siegel knew in real life. I can't remember which one of them, but yeah, he was modeled after a real person. So it does happen. And Socks, I really wanted this kind of twisted. Here's what I wanted, Dan, with Socks. I wanted to make the most vile character the most moral, and the fact that you would have to love this guy despite his weird perverted instincts. I love that idea of making this guy completely lovable, even though he's got this weird thing going on. And I Socks collect, for those who don't know, in the comic book, Socks collects socks from dead people. He pulls them out of corpses and stuff. But this guy is completely immoral, and he has a moral justification for those socks. He keeps their memory alive. Um,
Wow, that is very just.
because
I'm barefoot right now, Socks, so don't go after me.
and, and you go to his house, and he has these socks like a CGC slab comic book. They're graded, like Retro Nerd Girl, like grades his dead people socks, right? 9.8, 9.9. Things. Socks. Zod. Zod had a really hilarious origin, because his father wanted to give him the blood of the blood of Christ. Um, Zod cannot die. Every time he dies, he gets revived. All right, and
Oh
so
my god, you killed Zod Rider, you bastard!
who killed Kennedy from South Park. And what's really funny about Zod is that he got the blood of Lazarus, so he's always revived. Um, every time he dies, like every time Zod will show up in a comic book, he'll die at the end, every single time, and then come back to life. Um, now
Really
Socks,
is Kenny.
yeah, Socks is really frustrated because he can't collect Zod's socks because he keeps coming back, so it doesn't count. So it's invalid. So it makes it it makes it really really hilarious to do that. I love that. I love that the dynamic. And issue 3 has the first time that we see, Socks trying to take Zod's socks, and all of a sudden he gets up from back from the dead. So, um,
You
what else?
said issue 3. I just want to show something real quick. Hold on, let me just perfectly transition. It's so funny. Like I always have these sections break down, and like every time you interview these, you have like this perfect way of transitioning to the next topic. It's really,
Thank you, thank you.
really, and it's like you don't even know what it is. Like you don't even know. I didn't even show you my topics. You just perfectly do it. But I just wanted, since you said issue 3, I wanted to show another
Yeah,
image real quick.
yeah.
Hold on, let me get this entire screen. Okay, so let me know when you see the image.
Yep, there you go. That's the cover of issue 3, main cover. That's her as Dreamwalker. That's in the photo session that we did. Of course, Noel added all the photo images, effects to it, and everything. But so Noel Leon Flores is drawing this right now. He got the script late, which is why the book is late. So, hoping to get this book out by June or July. And this is where Zod makes his first appearance. Sky's in this one. And I really can't wait for this to come out. It's gonna be and Retro Nerd Girls in this one is in this one as well. And Savage Bats in this one. A lot of first appearances in here, but we're starting to set up, the big issue 6. This has that really hilarious scene of Socks thinking Zod has died and tries to get his socks. just I was laughing while I was writing. I could not stop laughing. Thank you, Zod. So,
You really are, and you know what's funny? I actually realized with the Flash movie coming out, in some ways, issue 3 is almost like the Flash movie in the sense that it keeps getting delayed, but it's going to turn out to be a real masterpiece.
Thank you. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and yeah, all the issues were delayed. There's always something happening, but I'm trying to get them on time from now on. But it's just tough sometimes. But it's worth it, though. Worth the wait.
It is, and and sometimes again, it's unlike go by David's Zaslav's words, not actions. Quality first.
Yeah. Hey, you guys know that Bad Dan here is in issue 6. So does he know that? Yeah, he's in issue 6. So you're all gonna be there.
Yeah, I'll have to make sure. Just when you get closer, I'll make sure to send some really good photos of myself. Just let me know if you need me to do any particular poses or.
Yeah. There are a bunch of different YouTube specials before the issue 6. Actually, you know what? The way it's working out right now, time-wise, I think issue 6 will probably come out when the show's out. How crazy is that?
Yeah, by then issue 6 will by then it will really be.
Yeah.
Once it's people see the series, it will be.
And then we are gonna combine the first 6 issues in a trade paperback. And I haven't told you yet, have I?
Tell me what?
So planning on trading cards of all the characters. But here's the thing, you know how they have little special edition collector part, like little special cards, right? The special cards will have the real photos of the people the characters are based on. So be prepared for that. Like how certain cards, like those spoil cards, we're not gonna do spoil cards. We're gonna do the real YouTuber cards. Just like the real Zod and everything else.
Oh my god!
Real Bad Dan.
Oh my! A comic book character, a trading card character, a character on a live action TV series played by like an actual actor playing me. Oh, like.
Do you have the Bad Dan card, but do you have the real Bad Dan card? Be funny, right? The most valuable cards in the series are the ones with your pictures in them.
Yeah, because like won't be as common as like the.
So if you want the complete set, you're gonna have to get the real Zod Rider card, the real Bad Dan card. I love that idea. It's so different.
Yeah, so like you really have that's what I love about you is that you have real ambition for Dreamwalker. You have like real ambition for where you want to see this thing go, and you're and you're thinking ahead. You actually
always,
unlike certain DC heads, you have a plan.
Yeah.
You're not making it up as you go along. I mean,
Nope.
you adjust some things,
Yeah.
sure, but
I learned it from Kevin Feige. Just scooping him this time. I mean, that guy. That guy has ideas 10 years from now. All right. So and he maps his way to get there. And I learned that from him. Like so many, my scoops from years ago, they're just not coming true because I heard about them back in 2014, 2015, and they just not starting to materialize. Like, like Wolverine and Deadpool 3, I scooped that back in 2015 years ago.
yeah, we'll probably took a lot with COVID. Unfortunately, I think delayed a lot of your
Yeah,
scoop confirmations.
yeah. But I don't see that with DC at all. But
So
Feige, yeah, I learned it all from him.
they had a plan. They had a really good plan at a certain point
Yeah,
early in 2022.
yeah. I already have a plan for Zodrider. I already know how Zodrider is gonna die. I already know how all these characters are gonna end up. I already told some of you the real ending to the Syndicate. It's already been mapped out. This stuff won't show up in like 6-7 years from now.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I mean that's like to me like so there's a lot of TV shows where it's like if they have like a plan for when it ends, it should end right there instead
Yeah.
of going on. That's what makes something successful. Like there's a show I watched, Supernatural. It was meant to be a 5 season show, and the
Yeah.
first five
Yeah.
seasons were like flawless in my opinion. And then you got to
Yeah.
season 6 when they went beyond the plan, it you know went downhill fast. And that's what I like about you
Yeah.
is that you have a plan and you want to stick with it, and that's why it's going to be good. That's why it's not going to jump the shark because you know right now where you want to be.
Well, a part of it too is Noel because he wanted to like be able to hint at things that are coming up ahead of time, um, which is perfect because when um when 108 Media contacted me, they wanted to know, hey, what are your plans for the whole first year and stuff. So I was already ready. It was already because Noel already had me do that and stuff. So it's perfect. And so, but you have to map this out in advance. As a storyteller, it really helps you a lot when you know where you're going.
It really does because that's
Yeah,
how that. I mean, ours you end up in like Game of Thrones season 8.
yeah,
I love throwing shade at all these other shows, but but it's a good way to learn from that. It's like you know where you want to be,
yeah,
you have a plan, and you're sticking with it. That's what I like. You want it. You're not going to panic. You're not gonna like worry if something doesn't go exactly right, and then you're gonna course
yeah,
correct like crazy and ruin everything.
yeah. Another thing too, Dan, was that prior to my stroke, my brain worked differently. Um, but after my stroke, I'm using a different part of my brain. I'm no longer analytical. I'm creative. That I had such a hard time writing stories back then because I would prefer to analyze them instead of come up with ideas. Now I have ideas every day. It's weird, like how all this came to be.
It really is, and it just worked out in such a great way. And I guess that's my big question for the future of Dreamwalker is like where ultimately do you want to see Dreamwalker like end up?
Well, I know I had rejected it initially because I felt organically it should reach that point, but I really do want to see it becoming a film. Um, and I know it will become a film, but after the live action TV show has finished its story, I would like to write for a live action film, and I think that's the next step where it goes. But I really preferred it to be on TV first, have it build up that following even further. Then we get more of the story out. Then we'll do an epic live action movie. That's where I feel this is headed. And all the different spin-offs and everything. And Second Skin Comics is growing. Will grow, and I'm gonna do an anthology book where I want to start publishing um stories from other people. Like Socks is gonna have a story that I'm doing. I'm gonna publish Zod's book. Um, I'm gonna have Sky write his own character for like a limited series type of thing. So a lot of plans going on. I'm always planning. People, it's like funny when all the betas were attacking Stella and I. Back during Rogues Gallery, I had already gotten my deal, right? And I was telling stuff like we're just getting started, and you know, and Phil was like, "What are you talking about?" And he thought I was talking about Snyderverse. He didn't know I had a TV deal in my pocket already. This is just all a stepping stone to a bigger thing, and I'm gonna involve you all because I am gonna start a production company with a good Austin. There's just I haven't told you
Damn.
that yet. So there's a
No.
lot of things going on. So, like, there are plans within plans within plans. Um, I'm negotiating with a book publisher now um, about the Dreamwalker books, and so, man, sky's the limit, man. Yeah,
It really is. And I do have a bit of a personal question because
yeah,
as how I got into you is you
yeah,
started scooping DC, Zack Snyder
yeah.
stuff, and you keep mentioning spin-offs and other stuff. So I have to ask, is there any possibility Zack Snyder could ever be involved in anything in the Mikeyverse?
I would be ecstatic if that ever happened. You know what, that Dan, um, my dream of a director for Dreamwalker was not Zack Snyder, it was Mikhail Red. And look, that happened. And Mikhail Red is a huge director over there now. He's swept the awards recently. That the Philippine version of the Oscars, he swept it right after he signed with us. So the timing, right? Mikhail Red actually has a project with HBO Max. That's how big he is. Okay.
Wow. I mean, hopefully HBO Max can afford him. I've heard they're having some financial issues.
Yeah. Well, no, they already signed him, so I guess they can. You know what? Okay, I'll tell you this. Okay, there's some kind of weird destiny things going on. It wouldn't shock me if at some point, if I'm working with Zach in some capacity, it wouldn't shock me at all. Wouldn't shock me. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm saying it wouldn't shock me if it did.
I would love to see that happen. Just with
Yeah.
Dreamwalker in general, just different spin-offs, just seeing all these different directors with their own
Yeah.
spin on it.
Oh yeah. Especially yeah. I mean, who knows? As they say, as Zach would say, who knows?
And and just how we all how we all became a community was actually through Zack
Yeah.
Snyder.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And it almost seems inevitable, right? So he
Yeah.
likes horror. He likes horror. Hmm.
And who knows? I mean, just if you ever get like certain actors and some of these Snyderverse actors in some of
Yeah.
these shows, that would be very cool too.
There is one actor in particular I like for Silver, but I won't mention his name. But yeah, see what you mean.
Yep.
Anyway, I have to get going in a few minutes. So I think I should wrap it up before I spill anything.
Okay, so actually, you said wrap up. So, just what do you have? I guess those two. We'll just say what's coming up then. I guess.
Geekosymag.com. We ran that post-credit story from Sil Abdul. It's doing really well for us right now. I got more bombs coming up. See, I got so many shows right now. Zod Writer and I have a show with Robert Burnett every Wednesday night. Sunday I have a night shift with Skywalker. Yeah, I'm dropping some pretty big ones there too. So, what day is today? Say Tuesday.
Yep, today's Tuesday.
So tomorrow night I have Zod Writer at 10 p.m. PST. I have Speedy's Multiverse on Thursday. I have Pandora's Box with Necron as well. And then whenever Sil gets a chance, we're gonna do some more members videos. And Friday we have Rogues Gallery. So a lot of big things going on.
Can't wait. You have a lot of great stuff coming up.
Yeah.
And just for my channel, the Flash movie is coming out. So I'm going to be doing a lot of videos hyping up the Flash channel. I'm going to, since I know there's some Back to the Future references, I'm going to watch Back to the Future for the first time in my life and do a review on it.
Oh my god, you've never seen Back to the Future? Holy shit, dude.
Nope, I've never seen it. So I'm going to make sure to watch it and do a review on it.
One of the best movies of all time. You'll love it, every single minute of it. And it's timeless too, so to speak. Yeah, enjoy.
Thank you. I will. And lots of great stuff with the Flash movie. I'll be hyping that up. I'll be hyping up the Cell movement, and I'll do an Across the Spider-Verse review too. So lots of great stuff coming up on Batman's Thoughts. And if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss another episode. And any final words?
That Dan will talk in the after show. But thank you guys for all your support. Keep liking, subscribing, help that Dan out here, get some more subscriptions, okay? Good stuff.
Thank you.
Great interview, dude. That was awesome. That's one of the best interviews I've ever done. Your questions were just excellent all the way through.
Thank you. I again, as I do more interviews, just hoping to get even better and better. And I hope to do a lot more interviews. Zodwriter, at some point, I am going to get you on to talk about Pause Not Stop, the book that Second Skins is publishing.
Yeah.
And lastly, have a bat-tastic day.
There you go.